It's pretty amazing how sometimes one single legal dispute, one family's personal story, can create a ripple effect that changes the entire system. Well, today we're diving into exactly that. How one custody battle led a judge to write a whole new playbook for protecting children who are caught in the middle of a divorce.
Right. This is the question. It's at the absolute heart of so many painful family court cases. It's a question one judge decided needed a much, much clearer answer. And in providing that answer, he ended up creating a new blueprint for protection that now applies across an entire state.
So our story really kicks off with one family. You have a mother, Jyoti Priya, a father, Paul Goodwin, and their two kids, a son and a daughter, who, like so many others, found themselves right in the center of a really difficult custody dispute. So here's the breakdown of the conflict. It was pretty straightforward, legally speaking. The father filed for guardianship in what's called interim custody. That's basically temporary custody while the main divorce case is still going on. The mother, she contested it. So the court's immediate task was to figure out, okay, what do we do for the kids right now? The court made its initial call, and it was all based on that core principle of the children's welfare. It gave the father shared parenting rights. But this is where the story gets really interesting. This isn't just about one family's outcome. It's about what the judge did next, because he started looking at the bigger picture.
The judge on this case, Justice S.R. Krishnakumar, he looked at this family's struggle, and he realized this isn't a one-off. What he was seeing was really a symptom of a much larger and frankly more troubling problem that was affecting families all over the state.
He had seen a huge spike in these kinds of cases, and he noticed this really painful recurring pattern. Parents were locked in what he called bitter battles, and the fight between them was so intense it often completely overshadowed what their own children actually needed.
And he pinpointed this critical, just heartbreaking flaw in the system. The decisions on who gets the kids temporarily were taking way too long. And that meant kids were being separated from one of their parents for months, sometimes even longer, just stuck in this limbo, paying the emotional price for a fight that was never their fault. And this brings us to a really crucial legal idea. The court has this profound duty to step in. It's a doctrine called parens patriae. It's Latin for parent of the nation. And it basically says the court is the ultimate guardian for people who can't protect themselves, especially children. So armed with this principle, the judge decided, okay, it's time to lay down some clear, proactive rules for all courts to follow. So let's get to the absolute core of this landmark decision. Let's see how this one case built a completely new framework. The judge laid out 4 crystal clear principles that every single interim custody case would have to follow from that day forward.
These 4 principles, they represent a massive shift in focus. It's not about the parents' fight anymore, it's about the child's well-being first. It's recognizing that separating kids from a parent is harmful, and it's saying no parent just gets to call all the shots. But it's that 4th principle, making decisions fast, that really gives this new framework its teeth.
30 days. That's it. That's the new deadline. And that single number is an absolute game changer. It directly tackles the system's biggest failure, delay. It replaces that damaging, uncertain limbo with a clear, fast process that is designed to protect the child from all that conflict. So why is this so incredibly important? Well, because these guidelines fundamentally reframe the entire conversation. It's not just about where a child is going to live for a few months. No, this is about protecting a child's basic human right to have a real, meaningful relationship with both of their parents, even during a divorce.
This quote from the ruling, it really says it all, doesn't it? A child's need for love from both mom and dad doesn't just vanish because the parents can't stand each other. That relationship is a right, and the court's job is to make sure it doesn't become another casualty of the parents' war.
So the goal here is to think about the whole child. It's about protecting their entire world, their emotional health, their sense of security, their very identity, which is so deeply connected to having both parents actively in their life. And the court order didn't just stop with these broad principles. It went even further. It laid out a specific bill of rights for any child stuck in a custody dispute, things that absolutely have to be protected. I mean, look how specific this gets. A child has a right to birthdays with both sides of the family, a right to love and affection from both parents, and this one is so crucial, the right not to be used as a pawn in their parents' fight. Every single point here is focused on one thing, the child's stability and happiness. So there you have it. From one family's personal, painful legal challenge came this powerful, system-wide directive.
And it all boils down to one simple, yet incredibly profound idea. When parents are at war, the court's first, last, and only allegiance is to the child.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This ruling gives us one powerful answer for the family court system, but it also opens the door to a much bigger, and I think much more urgent, conversation about how we as a society can actually design all of our systems to truly and effectively put our children first.